bringing it to them all day. All day. You know what's up? Welcome to Birdland. Win or lose, we bringing it to you always. Always. You know what's up? Welcome to Birdland. Orange or black, we rebuild the pack. No matter where we at, you know we coming back. Section 336, we on this, so tune in. You know what's up? Welcome to Birdland. Yeah, yeah. Welcome to Birdland. You know what's up? Welcome to Birdland. Birdland. Now, here come the boys from Section 336.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Baltimore sports fans of all ages, welcome to Section 336, Next Generation Baltimore Sports Talk. I am your Enduring Starting host, Matt Soroka. As always, I'm joined by the button lover, Josh Soroka.
Hey, you think we will ever see a Corbin Burns game where he gets plenty of run support?
I hope so. I mean, all the dude does is have quality starts, but apparently that's not good enough.
Was today a quality start?
Yeah, I mean, 6 innings, 1 run, right?
Did he go? I thought he was pulled in the 6. Was he pulled after 6? Let me pull up. I should have pulled up the box before we went live. No, you were right. 6 innings even. 6 innings, 1 run.
I mean, that's a quality start.
Yeah, he's got a 2.68 ERA. He's been pitching fine. It's just amazing the bad luck with him and the Orioles scoring runs.
Yeah, it's interesting, and we're obviously recording this after Monday night's baseball game where we lost 3-2 to the Toronto Blue Jays. Corbin Burns through 6 innings gave up 1 run. This is a pattern with the Orioles not scoring runs, which is interesting because it's not like we're a bad offensive team. We're a good offensive team. I know it feels like the last 2 games we only scored 2 runs, so it feels like this team just offensively is scuffling. But if you go back before that, I mean, we took 2 out of 3 against the Diamondbacks, and we scored 9 runs in the first 2 games of that one.
Right.
Before that, we scored 7 against the Nationals. So it's interesting. This is not a bad offensive team, but every time Corbin Burns pitches, it seems like we can't. Our bat be going.
It's like once a week we have a day that we just take the day off and rest the bats, and it just seems to keep lining up with Corbin Burns.
Yeah, this is a good lineup. It's not like we were out there throwing our Sunday pump lineup out there. We had a good lineup.
No.
And the offense could not get going at all. And the only reason we got 2 runs is Adley Rutschman.
Right.
I mean, I think what we had 3 hits total or something. So yeah, and 2 of those were the home runs. So just 1 hit besides the Adley Rutschman home runs. Right.
O'Hearn got a hit. That was the only hit. That wasn't a home run. And then Adley's 2 home runs. And it's tough. It's tough because you're seeing guys like Gunnar start to struggle a little bit now. But you're seeing Rutschman wake up. You're seeing Mountcastle starting to step up. So there's always guys in this lineup that can hit the ball. It's just frustrating. And there's a comment here saying once a week we can count on the bullpen to lose a game. That wasn't tonight.
Bullpen didn't lose the game?
No.
According to the box score, Webb got the loss.
Yeah, well, that's because you can't put the loss on. Who are you going to put it on? Who are you going to put in that last frame? If you want to put it on the 10th, you got Cowser up there with 1 out and a man on third, and he cannot hit that ball.
Yeah, I mean, that situation, right? That Cowser has to come through.
Right.
1 out, run on third base.
All you got to do is, he's just got to hit a long ball into the outfield.
Yep.
Mountcastle will tag.
Yep.
So there's just clutch hitting was not working tonight, but all hitting was down tonight. And the defense
we didn't have that many opportunities. I mean, that's opportunity trending, so we didn't even have really any opportunities for clutch hits.
No, you're right. You're right. And the defense was there. The pitching was there tonight.
The defense played well.
Colum came in and got that beauty double play.
Yeah, and then was benched. So I think some people also are going to we got a lot to talk about. Attack Hyde. There was a couple moves that made you scratch your chin. One of them was Corbin Burns being pulled so early. I mean, through 6 innings, got the quality starts. On the one hand, you say, "Oh yeah, you're good," But on the other hand, if you care about how many pitches thrown, I think it was at 85. 85 pitches thrown for Corbin Burns. Who lets their ace? I mean, seriously, who lets their ace give up 1 run through 6 innings and pull them at 85 pitches?
No, it's why everyone online. What was the question online when that happened? Is something wrong? Did Burns get hurt?
And maybe something will be released in the post game, but I don't think so.
I don't think so either. And I know there's a trend right now in baseball where that's like 9%.
How many times in the lineup has he gone through?
Right, and 9% of the starters have not hit 100 pitches a game in all of baseball. So I know Hyde. It's if it works, he's praised. If it doesn't work, he's attacked. We saw that.
We're not having this conversation. The Orioles win.
Right, we saw that with Kramer the other day, where the attack was, they left Kramer in 1 inning too long. So, yeah, it goes either way. But you're right. He's our ace, and I feel like we've used the bullpen a bunch lately. It's not like we have a bunch of rested guys. It's not like we're going to have easy, soft week where we might not need them, that you had to force them in. You've got the Blue Jays, and then for 4. Oh, no, you don't have 4. You got Blue Jays for 3, and then you got Seattle for 3.
Yeah, you got a rest day and then Seattle for 3.
Yeah. Right, so you got that rest day, but I was looking at June where you got them.
And last week you had 2 rest days.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. There's no reason that you have to force these bullpen guys in there.
Yeah, I mean, and when we're talking about, and we're getting conversations, we're going to be entering conversations now about a 6-man rotation and how do you handle that. Well, goodness, if you can even afford a 6-man rotation, afford to give a little extra rest when appropriate to a guy like Corbin Burns, then yeah, man, let the dude throw 100 pitches. And I know I understand it's May, and I've said this repeatedly that I care more about how people are playing in September and October than I do care about how they're playing in May. And so if you have to shut down Grayson for 2 weeks, I'm good with that because it's May. I don't want him shut down for 2 weeks in September. I want him shut down in May rather than September. But goodness, man, this is like, we're also the regular season. It's a division game. We're trying to win. You have your ace on the mound, a guy you're paying a whole lot of money. And by the way, it's not like you're concerned about Corbin Burns in 5 years. How's his arm doing? Because, not to be callous, but we have him for 1 year. so we got to ride this dude for 1 year. And you're only going to let him throw 85 pitches? Now, maybe there's something else happening here. Like Corbin Burns said, I'm done. Like maybe Burns said something to Hyde. Or maybe, there's something else happening. But if this is all on the up and up, and Hyde just made a decision that it's time to go to the bullpen, I think he needs to reconsider. And then I would argue, Josh, our best reliever all year has been Coolum.
Yes.
And he's down there, throws 1 pitch.
1 pitch.
And he's done. I know you want to get Webb in there. I know you want to do righty-lefty. So sometimes I wish like Hyde did not have access
to the analytics.
To who was right-handed and who was left. Not even analytics. Who was right-handed, who was left-handed. Because whatever that left-handed hitter who got the hit against Aiken in the 10th, they said he's a lefty, but he's hitting better. His batting average is better against lefties than it was against righties. So actually give Hyde the stats, but just don't tell Hyde if they're left-handed or right-handed. I think we'd all be better off if Hyde didn't know the handedness of all these players.
You just want to know, do they hit better against left or right?
Yeah, just show me their batting average against left or right. Show me their batting average against certain pitchers or whatever. If you want to do that, if you want to get into those stats, fine. But I think he gets too cute sometimes, especially pitching-wise with the matchups. He gets too cute sometimes with the lefty and the righty matchups. And it's okay in May, but listen, I'm pro manager Hyde. I mean, I think it's hard to criticize what he's done with his team.
Right.
But again, I'm always now thinking with October in mind.
And Hyde could easily come out and say that he is also thinking with October in mind, and that's why he wants to save Burns' arm or something. Sure. He can use that same argument.
Sure. Yeah. But we're also like in a really important, and I know it's weird to talk about a battle for first place,
but it's a divisional.
The Yankees are playing good ball.
And it's a divisional game.
Yep. And we just dropped out of first place with this loss.
Did that knock us out? Because the Yankees
we were a half game up going in. So yeah. I think I guess we're tied now. So if you're half game up,
At the moment,
the Yankees
we are
didn't play.
tied
The
because they
Yankees
did not play
tonight. Yeah.
Yes.
And so now we're tied. So yeah, we
But
lost full possession of first base.
Is this the first time we've lost 2 in a row this season?
Ooh, I don't think so, but I don't know. I have to go back and.
Yeah, I'll check that out. But I feel like we've been so good at bouncing back after losses, and I think we haven't. Let's see, 2-2. We lost 2 in a row to Milwaukee at the beginning of April.
Okay.
And that was the only time we have had 2 back-to-back losses, and those were ugly, 11-1, 1-11, and 5-11 losses.
Oh yeah, I hate the Milwaukee Brewers. They were smug about it
Right.
too. That was an ugly series. I want a rematch with the Brewers.
So those are the only times this season that we've lost back-to-back until tonight. So
yeah.
And again,
are you concerned about our sweepless streak being in jeopardy?
No, I'm not. I don't care about the sweepless streak.
Josh, but why have we not lost? Why have we only lost back-to-back games once all year, and we're in mid-May?
Because we're a good team.
Yeah, that's one reason.
Because we're a good team, we got a solid lineup, and like today, we had great pitching. A 3-2 loss is a shame. We should have won it. We were in position to be able to win it. So,
yeah, I mean, I think when you have 5, 6, 7 good starters where we're at right now, we're going to keep you in the ball game all the time. And when you have a lineup where, and I know we're not hitting on all cylinders in this lineup, and we can, if you want to get into individual players, some individual players who are struggling, but as a whole, we have 9 pretty good hitters. I would argue 8 above average hitters in this lineup pretty much every night. And so,
who are you not counting? Mullins? Mateo. I think Mateo's hitting the ball better than Mullins right now.
Yeah, I'm saying, but like career-wise, if you were to like not just this season, but people have proven themselves to be above average hitters.
Okay. That's the problem is we're a good team and we have no there's no reason. It's why we haven't gotten into our biggest losing streak is 2. We haven't, and at some point this year we're going to lose 5 in a row. It's going to happen.
I don't think we will.
I hope not. And I guess it's not fair of me to say that because I guess that didn't happen last year.
Didn't happen last year.
In order for us to continue this streakless thing. But we might lose 4 in a row. You never know. We're going to go through a slump. But you're right. Part of why we don't get in a slump is because you're only as good as your next day's pitcher. And we have good pitchers every day.
Yeah.
It helps.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. We're not throwing 4-8 guys out there. We're not throwing guys and doing opener nonsense. We got guys going into the 6th inning.
I saw people today saying, "Oh, well, if we're pulling Burns in the 6th inning, we're starting to do that opener crap." It's like, no, that's a quality start. What are you talking about? Yeah, that's not an opener thing.
Yeah, it's not an opener thing. That's a quality start. But still, it's 85 pitches for your ace. I don't like it. I want my ace throwing 100 if he's pitching well, and he's pitching well. So,
well, maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, but what do I know? What do I know? Josh, the Orioles can get away from the game a little bit.
Yeah,
and we can revisit some because I want to talk a little. I want to unpack some of these individual performances.
Yeah, because that was mostly. I mean, we jump in the show. I don't even think we did any intros or anything. Just straight in because the game just ended a few minutes ago.
Yeah. And I'm really curious. Josh gave us a homework assignment the last episode. I'm really curious if he came through with his end of the bargain or not.
Of course I did.
And by Josh's facial reaction, if anyone's watching the video live, he did not do his homework.
Did you do your homework?
I did.
Okay.
I got some stuff to talk
about. All right. I've got my homework done as well.
Okay.
You're talking about how we said, like, let's bring some good things and bad things.
Yeah, but I like let's talk about individual
players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
like
I
the player of the week type thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know about player of the week. Just talk about one specific player.
Okay. All right. I did not do my homework. No. But I'm good.
But before we get there, let's talk about a couple moves the Orioles have made today, actually.
Yes, because I want to talk about this because I want to talk about the roster after these moves.
Okay, so the move was Kyle Stowers replaces Heston Kjerstad. According to Brendan Hyde himself, this was not based on performance as much as wanting to get Kjerstad some more consistent at bats that he wasn't getting in the majors.
I mean, that's what it's funny for Hyde to say that, but the reason he's not getting those at bats in the majors is because of Brendan Hyde. Like, there's no reason Ryan O'Hearn should start in left field over Kjerstad.
Right.
Did you watch any of yesterday's game and Ryan O'Hearn playing left field?
No, I was actually
Good
out
for
of town.
you. Good for you. Ryan O'Hearn should not play left field.
Yeah.
I don't know if Ryan O'Hearn should play right field.
Oh, no, I was not out of town. I was at a graduation thing, yeah.
So, all right.
I was out of town on Saturday night.
But yes, one of the frustrating things about Kjerstad is he was the hottest bat in AAA, crushing home runs, and very few at bats when they called him up. He's been sitting on the bench.
Yeah, what's the he was here for
like 2 weeks?
I think 14 games. Yeah, 14 games. How many at bats did he have in 14 games, Josh? Oh, I'm sorry. He was He was here 14 games.
14 games.
Yeah.
He had 7 at bats.
Oh, he had 14 at bats.
Was he here for 14 games? Do you have that stat right?
I don't know if I have it right. I think it's right.
Okay.
I have he played in 7 games. He got into 7 games. He got 14 total at bats. I just have his season stats here. I don't know how long he was up here for. He has 14 at bats. That's a fact. I think he was up here for about 14 days.
All right. So 14 at bats, 2 hits, no long ball.
Right. 2 walks, 6 strikeouts.
Right.
Not great.
No, not great. A 143 batting average.
Yeah, but again, he was playing
how can you get? Yeah, because my guess is that most of those at bats are like a pinch hit, 1 at bat that game.
Yeah, a lot of those are that. But Josh, your point. We'll go back to your point because it's a valid one. Manager Hyde's like, well, we got to send him to the minors to get more playing time, as if this was something that he did not have control over. Like, just can't play. Now the problem with the lineup construction, it's a legit problem when you have so many lefties. You have O'Hearn as the DH mostly. You have Mullins and Cowser in the outfield with Santander. Those are all guys. And Santander switch hitter. The rest are lefties.
He started 4 games.
Okay.
It looks like.
Yeah. And so the problem with too many lefties, like that's a legit problem.
Yes.
And I think long term, he's going to be your everyday right fielder. Long term, I mean next year. I think next year he's going to be our everyday right fielder.
I agree. Is Stowers right-handed?
No, he's a lefty too.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
So then, how does Stowers get any more playing time, or is it just more bench warming time?
Yeah, I think maybe you want to switch up who's warming the bench, switch up who's getting the bat at the minors. I mean, something that Stowers does do for you that Kjerstad doesn't. He's a little bit better of a defender. I know that Kjerstad got 1 start in left field on Saturday.
Yes.
And I thought he played okay there, right?
I thought, he did fine. He made one real nice slide and play.
Yeah.
People gave him crap for missing the ball that was hit to the wall.
Yeah,
but that's a deep outfield. That's a hard play.
It's a tough play, yeah. I mean, certainly Austin Hayes is better at left field than Heston Kjerstad is. That's
Cowser right now. Cowser's right-handed, right?
No, he's a lefty too. This is the problem. They're all lefty.
But he throws right-handed, right?
Yes, he throws right-handed.
All right, but he bats left-handed.
Yeah,
all right, yeah.
There's a bunch of these guys.
Right. All right.
I don't know if like you train to do this. It's the perfect. It's what everybody should and want to be.
Is throw right
because you can play all the positions.
Yeah.
And bat left.
I am very surprised that you bat left and you're not a switch hitter, because you would think you would have batted right for most of your life and then taught yourself to bat left.
Yeah, I don't know, but my son is an idiot.
He's doing the
clip
opposite.
that onto TikTok. But he throws left and bats right. It's the worst of both worlds. You can't play any position left-handed.
That's fine.
And you hit right-handed.
Catch.
Yeah. And I've tried really hard to the switch hitting. I don't understand. If you can right and throw left-handed, like you're coordinated like that,
yes.
why can't you just bat left-handed? But you just can't do it.
We'll get there. He'll get there eventually. He's got to.
Yeah.
All right. So you mentioned that you mentioned one of the moves for today. So get to the other move.
Stowers. The other move, Austin Hayes was reinstated, made the drive up from Bowie to replace Ryan McKenna.
All right. And Ryan McKenna was DFA'd.
Yeah. Ryan McKenna, who got more playing time than I was expecting. So good for Ryan McKenna to get into some games. And Ryan McKenna, people feel some certain – he's interesting. I think he is probably the late inning defensive replacement that, we can go back to Andy Chavez and all our late in defensive replacement. I don't know if there's someone that Oriole fans have less faith in as a defender than Ryan. Like, I think people have more faith in Ryan O'Hearn out there in the outfield than they do Ryan McKenna. Yet Ryan McKenna is the defensive replacement. And Josh, whenever Ryan McKenna goes in the game, it is amazing.
Oh, the
ball finds him. The ball finds him every single time. Yes. But Josh, Ryan McKenna was here for a cup of coffee, played in 9 games, like a lot of those defensive replacements. Only had 8 at-bats. But in those 8 at-bats,
he did well.
2 home runs. Yes. Batted .375, OBP of .444.
Right.
Could you make an argument here that Ryan McKenna played really well and didn't get a fair shake here?
He's not part of the future. It's the only thing I can say. There is no Ryan McKenna. The only way I can put it is they're judging Ryan McKenna based on more than these 9 games. That Ryan McKenna is being judged on last year as well. But I don't know, because that's what I want to talk to you. I don't understand how you construct this outfield right now. Because it seemed like Kerstead was the perfect guy to platoon with Santander in right field and let Anthony DH and let Kerstead DH and flip-flop back and forth. That seemed like that would make sense. They didn't use it that way. Mullins is really struggling. You've got Hayes coming back. It seems like center field could easily be a Hayes Mullins platoon until they both start getting hot, and then you can put them left and center again. But it seems like in order to keep Cowser in this lineup, you put Cowser in left, you let Hayes and Mullins platoon in center, but then you got Stowers. And I guess Stowers could be that Anthony Santander platoon late inning guy, but I also kind of want him in more. And it doesn't make sense to platoon him with Cowser because they're both lefties. It makes sense to platoon Cowser with Mullins, except then they're both lefties. Because I would think you could have Cowser and Mullins platoon in center, Hayes and Stowers in left. I don't understand how you fit all these outfielders and how you rotate them in through games.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think what Hyde's done is not gone the platoon route,
right?
But gone the occasionally let me sneak Kerstead in there, and I think they're going to do the same thing with Stowers.
But isn't that a waste?
I mean,
when you're Hyde and you're worried about arms and last until October and pulling guys early, yet you're giving your outfielders a rest for like Sundays, and then you're doing a stupid thing like put O'Hearn out there. I don't get it.
I don't know. Like, I think you're trying to run with your best guys, and right now, who's better, Stowers or Santander? And even though Santander has struggled a little bit, and you mentioned Cedric Mullins has struggled a little bit, again, if you're thinking about October, who's your guy there? And I think, I mean, Josh, you can argue it. I think you're dead wrong to think that in October you would rather have Stowers in the outfield than Mullins.
No. I think Mullins defensively is what's keeping him around. And it's interesting to me because you don't always see that. You don't always see a guy that holds his own defensively. I think tonight, Monday night, the game ended with Mullins at the plate. He should have been pinch hit there. But I guess
even if it was a favorable lefty-righty matchup, you know how.
I know, but it's a struggle in Mullins. He's like 1 for 9 or something. He's not. You need a clutch hit, and Mullins didn't. There was no hope for Mullins to get that clutch hit there.
Okay. Josh,
but
yeah. I don't know if Birdland is ready for this conversation. I know you are, Josh, but I don't know if the majority of Birdland or Manager Hyde is ready for this conversation. I'll just throw it out there.
You want to move on from Mullins?
In 2021, Cedric Mullins was one of the best center fielders in all of baseball.
Yes.
Batted 291, OBP of 360.
Yes.
Had an insane 30 home runs, right? Had 30 stolen bases. Then 2 years ago in 2022, he had a drop off, but was still really good. Batting average 258, an OBP of 318. Still stole a bunch of bases. His home runs were cut in half to 16. Then last year, and he had 32 doubles in 2022. Last year, 2023, his 32 doubles went down to 23. His home runs went down to 15. His batting average dropped to 233. And his OBP was just over 300. And now this year, he's batting 185. His OBP is 237. His MLB career. So now, if you look at his career, he's a 252 batting average guy, 318 OBP guy. This doesn't scream elite starting center fielder for a World Series team.
No.
And if we're having conversations about how we have so much depth and talent in the outfield, I think maybe, I don't know if I want to lead this charge. I'm not going to go on Twitter and lead this charge, but maybe when we talk about who should be the fourth outfielder, kind of the defensive replacement, maybe Cedric Mullins should be that fourth outfielder, that defensive replacement guy. Is that, I don't know, is that heresy to say?
No. And I'm there with you. It's why I led this with, I think Hayes and Mullins should maybe platoon at center field.
Yeah, I'm going beyond platooning. And I know
you're going a step further. You're going a step further with fourth outfielder.
Yeah.
Because it's tough because Mullins is an outstanding outfielder. He's got the range.
He is.
I have no question he can catch these balls. I love it. But how much of a step back is it really to have Hayes in center or Kowser in center? I'm not sure. And part of the argument last year was, well, Mullins and Hayes are the only guys on our roster that can cover center field, and we have two center fields at our home games. Well, now I have Kowser in that mix too, and I trust him in center field. And now if you're going to put Kerstead and O'Hearn in left field, Manager Hyde, and you're going to trust them in left field, then suddenly the whole world is open. You don't need Mullins every day in center field. I'm with you.
Yeah. I mean, even if, listen, I don't want to lead this charge, but let's just finish this conversation. You can say, well, we'll go to platoon. And that's fine. We can talk about platoon, but I would also come back at you and say, Cedric Mullins against righties, because he's a left-handed hitter, against righties this year, he's hitting 212. So it's not like he's lighting the world against righties. Last year, it was too small sample size. Last year versus righties, 233. It was, in fact, the same exact batting average he had last year against lefties, was 233. So I'm not – yeah, so you can do the platoon. I think maybe that's a step in the right direction, but it's not going to solve all your problems. And you're right. There's no one – Kowser is okay at center field, probably better than left. Hayes is okay in center field, probably better than left. Cedric Mullins has limitations, though, too, as a defender, right? His weak arm is well, I mean, his jumps, his range on the ball, his ability to make exceptional catches, that's no one's better than Mullins with that. Is that enough to keep you playing center field when we were trying to build a World Series team? I don't know, but it's also, Josh.
What surprises me
go ahead.
Is that what were we talking about before the season started? Brennan Hyde in some of these spring games had Jorge Mateo playing center field.
Yeah.
And that looked like, hey, we know there's a problem here. We need someone that's got range. And we haven't seen that. I don't think he's played any center field games, any outfield games this season. But it was showing in spring that we knew we've got all this depth, but can they cover center field?
Yeah.
And are they ready, even more importantly?
Yeah, it's interesting. I did not take that as some sort of and he did play. He played one game in center field, but I'm sorry, he's listed here as having 3 games in center field. So 16 innings total.
Okay, I did not realize that.
2024. But I think that I took the Jorge Mateo Learning Center just that we didn't feel we had anyone else to back up center besides maybe
correct.
Austin Hayes. So I didn't take it as an indictment of we're worried about Cedric Mullins.
No, I took it as like what you were saying. We have two center fields, and we don't know if Stowers, Cowser, if those guys can they cover, are they ready to come up yet?
Yeah, and the other thing I took out of it is they want to make Mateo work on this team. Like they want to give every excuse to keep Mateo on the team. And so this was another way where you could argue, well, Mateo has so much versatility, and so if called upon, he can play center field. This is another kind of, marble on the side of keeping Jorge Mateo on this team. So his versatility, I think, is another reason to keep him. Yeah. So interesting situation in the outfield. Interesting short-term decisions.
Yeah.
I think the long-term decisions will go a different direction, but short-term decisions. And it's also like the thing about Mullins and Santander is even more to this argument, where you have a guy like Jackson Holliday, even a guy like Colton Cowser.
Right.
If they struggle, it's easy. Like Jackson Holliday's a good example. He struggles, we're going to move you back to AAA. If you struggle, we can move you to the bench. It's harder to do that with established starters.
I know.
Like Cedric Mullins, Santander, that have been around forever. It's harder to do that.
At what point do we have to go to Mullins and say, "Hey, you're hurt. You woke up on your shoulder wrong. You stubbed your toe getting out of the ice bath. Something. We got to put you down for 15 days. Let's make it 15 days. Go on down to Sarasota, get some sun, work out. Let's get with the hitting coach. Let's figure out what's going on, and just go away for 15 days."
Yeah, no, I don't think that's the answer, because this is been going on for like 3 years now. So I don't think a week vacation is going to fix what's been happening for 3 years now.
I agree, but
and Josh, the other thing is,
what are you?
Well, Josh, the other reality is, I think we're better with him on the team. I think he's better. I'd rather have him on the team than Kyle Stowers. This year, I'll say this. This year, I'd rather have Cedric Mullins on my team than Heston Kjerstad. I would. Now, my argument is, I'd rather have on the team right now. I think we need to start having a conversation. Would be better on the team as a fourth outfielder, as a defense replacement, as a late inning guy.
Right.
As your Jorge Mateo outfielder version. Right? Like I want to have that conversation. I still think he belongs to this team. I still want him to play. I just want him to play less.
You want him in an Andy Chavez role, where you're not expecting anything at the plate, but
or Ryan McKenna role.
Lock down that outfield, and don't let any balls hit the grass.
Yeah, maybe play a little more Andy Chavez, but yeah, I want him as that late in defense replacement. I want him as your pinch runner. I want him as, if there's a favorable matchup, you start him.
How do you transition to that?
Well, yeah, I don't know. Like, I guess it's how comfortable do you feel with Colton Cowser as your everyday center fielder?
Is this getting into
or Austin Hayes?
All right, are we at Adam Jones territory, where we had to move him to? Well, no, that was more of a range issue, not a bat issue.
Right.
See, for Adam, we tried to move him to right field.
But that was also, remember when we tried to trade him?
Well, yes.
There was also some stuff
he refused to trade. He refused to let us trade him.
Yeah, and I think at the end of his career, he wanted to resign. He had to go to, was it Japan or Korea to play?
He went to Japan for 2 years. I think he went to the Diamondbacks for a cup of coffee.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, he did. You're right. But it was a similar situation where he got less money than he was expecting, wanted to.
Yes.
And this is not unique to Adam Jones, but players who are stars for a while, they recognize less when they drop off.
He played 137 games with Arizona, so that's a full season.
Yeah, he played a full season in Arizona. And now he's Adam Jones has a happy ending. It looks like, where he comes back to.
Yeah, he's a podcaster.
Yeah, he's a podcaster.
He's just like us.
What we all dream of.
Right.
So yeah,
right. People always think that the podcasters critique baseball players because we want to be baseball players.
Yeah,
No, it's the
the other way
baseball
around.
players want to be podcasters.
They're in it just to become podcasters.
Yeah, exactly.
So I mean, I think at some point Cedric Mullins, like if this continues, and maybe it won't, like maybe Mullins will get hot and returned to close to the form he was a couple years ago. But if this continues, Josh, into June, I mean, we have to have the conversation.
Right. And it's with Cowser cooling off, it makes the conversation not as easy. If Cowser was really hot and then you got Hayes coming back, I think it's easier transition. But even with Cowser cooling off,
and with Hayes being out,
at some point now that Hayes is back, you're going to want Hayes in the lineup to see if he can get hot again. And you're going to want Cowser in the lineup. So you're going to, it's whether you like it or not, Mullins is probably in a platoon situation right now.
Yeah, like there was with Ryan McKenna, you could argue that Ryan McKenna should have got more platoon because he put the numbers. But with Ryan McKenna, there was, little competition.
History. Yeah.
But like with Austin Hayes, you're going to want to get the Austin Hayes in the lineup most days. There was no pressure to get Ryan McKenna in the lineup any days. Yes. But Austin Hayes, there's going to be pressure to get him in the lineup most days. And you have Cowser and Mullins and Santander in there, and Hayes is going to take one of their spots.
Yeah.
It's going to be Cows or Santander. I mean, it's going to be Cowser or Mullins spots. And maybe they'll rotate back and forth, but he's taking someone's spot.
And Cowser is a fan favorite, and he's playing well.
Well, not recently. I mean, he's
struggling. He's struggling at the plate. We talked earlier about how he had a great opportunity tonight in the 10th and blew it.
Yeah, and they seem to be throwing him a lot more off-speed pitches, a lot more curveballs and sliders, and he has not responded very well to that. So we'll see. I mean, this is what baseball's all about, like making adjustments.
It is. It's a long season. That's what we love about baseball, is you have to make adjustments. You can't do the same thing the entire season. You can't even win your season with the same guys hot all the time. With the ebbs and flows of baseball, everyone gets hot at a different time. And you hope that it can balance out.
What's Cowser's batting average the last 15 games, Josh?
180?
146.
Oh, that's really bad.
Yeah. I mean, it's bad. I mean, it's 48 at-bats.
How did he make it over
hits,
McKenna?
0 home runs, 18 strikeouts. I mean, it's bad.
That's bad. But what was Mullins over that same period?
I mean, and we can I mean, they've both been struggling. I mean, Mullins over the last 15 games is batting 100. So he's a little better. He's got 5 hits and 50 at bats.
Right. It's not what you want. It's not how you want to choose Cowser over Mullins, but you would much rather one of them be hot and you can lean on the hot hand.
And how about this? Just finish up discussing the outfield. Santander, he's hitting the best of all the outfielders last 15 games. 192 batting average. I mean, that's...
the infield is carrying this team.
Yeah, I mean, Westberg is carrying the team. Mountcastle, O'Hearn, they're carrying the team.
Yeah. Adley's really warming up.
Oh, Adley. Oh, yeah. Adley. Come on now.
Adley's, is he batting 300 yet? He's getting up there.
Yeah.
He's at 309 after today's 2 home runs.
Yeah, here's Adley last 15 games. You want to hear this? Adley last 15 games has 6 home runs. How's that for you? Batting 281. So he's playing well.
Yeah. And Mountcastle, I bet he's had a good 15 games.
Yeah. And so this is
but you know what? We haven't even brought up the guy that's really carrying this team. The guy that you want in any clutch situation.
Well, I mentioned Westy. Yeah.
Did you mention Westy? All right.
Yeah.
I missed it.
Yeah. No, he's playing well. He's playing well.
Yes.
The last 7 games, batting 333, OBP of 400. And he's playing well.
Full season average 298.
Yeah, no, he's playing well. Yeah, there's no doubt. And I have no doubt that Santander is not going to bat 200 all season. I think Colt Cowser is going to figure it out. I think Cedric Mullins will be a little better. I don't think Cedric Mullins is going to hit 185 by the end of the year. He better not be hitting 185 by the end of the year.
I hope not.
But
if
right now,
he's not going to be in this lineup every day.
Yeah, he's not. I mean, right now 185. That's what we call Ramon Arias territory right there. That's not good.
Another guy who somehow is still squeaking by on this team. Mateo at least saw the pressure and stepped it up, and he's having a good season. But you would think, I guess the fact that Holiday came up and struggled Ramon could kind of sit back and be like, all right, I've got this.
Yeah, we'll have to deal with the Ramon topic another day. We're talking about the outfield today. And I'll end our outfield discussion with this. And I kind of have, I texted this to you and I kind of half joked, but I'm kind of serious too. If I'm Heston Kjerstad, part of me is like, demand a trade. I don't know. I know you don't see that happening in major leagues like they do in the NBA and even football where players demand trades. We don't see that in baseball at all because it's complicated to make these deals. But if I'm Heston Kjerstad, I'm like, I would be starting on almost any other team in baseball right now. Well, or at least platooning on almost any team in baseball right now.
Yes,
but I'm not with the Orioles.
And if I was Kjerstad, I know that, and I'm going down to Norfolk and I'm going to crush the ball. So teams are calling the Orioles and saying, "Hey, you've got no room for Kjerstad.
Yeah,
send me Kjerstad. Send me Kjerstad, and we can talk about this closer because you guys need a closer."
Yeah. But again, if I'm Elias, I'm calling Kjerstad's agent. I'm just saying, just tough it out for one more year. Tough it out for one more year. We got a spot for you. Just tough it out for one more year, and we got a spot for you and you can be on the starting right fielder on the defending World Series Orioles. So hang in there for one more year for me.
All right. In that case,
I think Kjerstad's proven what he needs to prove in AAA, right?
Yes. I think they should have told Kjerstad, "Hey, you're not going to play tonight. Why don't you go out and be Mr. Splash for the night? Be Mr. Splash for the first 5 innings, then come on back here, get suited up. We might put you in late."
Yeah, at least
give him a job.
Involved. Yeah,
give him a job
to make him feel like he's part of the team.
Exactly.
Hey, speaking of being in the Splash, Josh, your thoughts on Ruben Splash? Your thoughts on? Friday night on Apple TV, he was handing out baseball hats, handing out gift cards.
He gave everyone
the hose. I don't know if he's ever used a hose before, but he's trying to push it down and squirt into
You're trying to say he went outside and asked his landscaper, "How do you use this thing?"
Well, I don't think he did. That's a problem. I don't think he asked a landscaper. He should have and should have had them do some try. He was looking like he's never held a hose before in his life. That's all I'm saying.
I feel like this is how New York Mets fans felt when Cohen first came in. Like, it is so cool to have a fan as an owner.
Yes.
Like a true fan.
Yes.
And he seems like an honorable, good guy. Like the gift bags for the people sitting in the splash zone that had an Oriole hat, a $20 gift card, and a letter from him in it, just because you happen to have tickets in the splash zone the same day he came over to be Mr. Splash, is a nice move and something that did not have to be done. On the contrast, there was a clip. I don't think I sent it to you, but there was a home run hit to left field yesterday. And in the row 2 is a guy wearing a Birdland Sports Sell the Team, John Angelos with the clown nose shirt on it. Clear as day. So the contrast between Rubenstein and Angelos is massive. What I am trying to understand as an Orioles fan is the relationship between the fans and ownership. I cannot think of another sports team that loves their owner right now as much as we do. And I know part of that is that we were on the list of one of the worst owners in all of sports.
Right.
But even when Dan Snyder got kicked out of the Commanders.
Yeah.
And
good for you, Josh.
And the guys
and the Commanders. Good for you.
The Redskins. Did you see the story from Did you see the story from the Commanders today?
No.
They had some press. Sorry to get distracted. They had a press conference where they were talking about a new stadium site or something.
Right.
And the coach was wearing a Commanders sweatshirt, but it was the big Commanders W with the Redskins feathers off the side of the corner. And it's not even an official shirt. It's like some knockoff shirt that he bought on the internet.
Some Birdland Sports wannabe.
Exactly. It's something from Birdland Sports. But the relationship between owners, like you do not see Commander fans, you got me mixed up, cheering on their new ownership group.
I think they were pretty excited to have the new ownership group.
I think they were excited to see Snyder gone. Right. But what do you see now? You see them back to being the laughingstock of sports. Now, part of it might be the fact that the Orioles were set up to win baseball this year. Yes. And it's way more fun to be an owner if your baseball team's the best baseball team in the American League.
Rubenstein could not have walked into a better situation.
No, he could not. He had the worst ownership before him and the best team in baseball in front of him.
Yeah, an insane combination.
Yeah. But at what point does it turn? Because no one likes their owner like we like our owner right now.
Yeah, I mean, this is certainly the honeymoon period, right? You have this in, the president is never more popular than his first, couple months in office, and then we all find reasons to hate him after a year. So I mean, we're heaping a lot of praise on a guy who's done nothing, right?
Well, he bought the team.
He bought the team. Yeah, he bought the team. We're praising a guy who paid $1.8 billion, according to him, just so he could do the splash zone.
He's done, and all right.
What has he done, Josh?
He has related to the fan base,
like
no one else ever has. He's handed out gift cards. He's shaken.
Bought
he bought our love. He's
Yeah.
walked around the stadium and shaken hands. He has done silly videos. That video of him in the two videos they put out for new ownership with him in the audio booth just pressing the button for the Oriole Magic song.
Yeah.
I watched that multiple times. It made me laugh.
Yeah.
Cal Ripken with the desk at shortstop and Gunnar telling him to move. Very good.
A little bit of a trolling tease on us fans.
Yes.
But, okay, yeah.
Oh, you mean how they shot it? You mean
how they
people
shot
see,
it? We thought,
there's
maybe
a desk out
big
there.
signing happening. Yeah.
Yes. I don't think that was a purposeful troll.
I don't think so either. I think it was.
I think that was,
people don't understand how desperate we are.
Yes, exactly. But we're seeing all this stuff from ownership, and I'm so afraid that it's going to turn at some point because you don't see this in sports. All that to say, I loved having him out there as Ruben Splash.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what does it take to have people keep on loving you?
Winning games.
What's that? What'd you say?
Win.
Okay, because
and be
win. I mean, some people say spend money. Again, Peter Angelo spent money, right? Peter Angelo signed Chris Davis.
Right.
Spent a lot of money to sign Chris Davis. So it's not just about now. I'm banging on the table about extending Gunnar and extending Adley and extending Grayson and extending Corbin Burns. And I want to see these things happen. To me, that's going to be kind of a visible sign that he's coming in here and he's going to spend money to win. But Josh, that could all backfire because why did people hate Dan Snyder? Why did people hate Peter Angelos back in the day? Because he was too involved, right? He meddled. And we don't want someone who's a meddler, especially because we have Mike Elias and Stig Mejdal, who seem to be very good at their jobs.
Yes.
And we want them to have every resource and tool to do their job well without getting to the meddling part. And if you want to meddle in splash zones and meddle on X with your videos, meddle all freaking day long with that.
And that's my point.
Elias does the baseball stuff.
I want him to do all that and leave Elias alone. And I am enjoying seeing that. I do think the Gunnar Henderson specifically extension is really interesting because he is represented by Scott Boras.
Scott Boras to go to free agency.
Will never let Gunnar Henderson sign an extension. But at the same time, we are seeing players. It started with Montgomery this offseason. Get
and Snell
kicked at Boras. And then we saw Snell leave. I guess it was Snell during the offseason, Montgomery right behind him. And now there's someone else currently up that's upset, and there's rumors he's leaving Boras as well.
Yeah.
I was reading today. So if that goes the right way, that might work out well for the Orioles.
Yeah.
Because if they give Henderson this money, say, hey, you can be an Oriole for life, or at least the next 10, 12 years.
Yeah.
Look at how it's working for Mike Trout. Next decade, you're an orange and black. You're here. You're the leader. You're the face of this team. Scott Boras should not be turning that down.
Right. And it feels, Josh, like now is, I mean, I don't think this week, but like this offseason certainly.
Yes.
If not this season, feels at the right time, not just because every year, he becomes more expensive, but also because for Gunnar, there's so many good feelings, right?
Yes.
Around this team, ownership, the fans,
all his friends. He grew up with all these guys.
Yes. Like there's such good vibes. And so certainly at this point, you would think he'd be willing. Now, who knows where we'll be in 2, 3, 4 years? But it seems like now, like just all the vibes are good if you want to pursue some of these extensions. So, and if you have the money, which doesn't seem to be an object now, it just makes all the sense in the world. So, yeah, but certainly, I mean, this is a discussion about Rubenstein has done so far everything that you would want a new owner to do. I love his involvement. I love that he's kind of a nerd.
Yes. I love that he's doing the fan stuff.
Yeah.
I love that he is acting like a fan.
He's not pretentious. He's not. He's the anti kind of John Angelos, right?
He really is. He has not made. He would not. And I don't even think he is the one pushing to be like, "Hey, I want to do the splash zone." I think he's enjoying. And
you don't think so?
I think
you don't think he put in personal quest with splash zone?
No, I think the Orioles PR went to him and said, "Hey, you want to do the splash zone?"
I think it went the other way around.
Who would say no to that? I don't know. You think it's?
I think Rubenstein walked in and said, like, "Hey guys, I got some ideas here." Like, I think I don't know. I think he might be pitching some of the stuff with.
I would love that,
and maybe not specific ideas, but like, hey guys, like, what can I do, right, to get more involved here?
I would love that. I hope that's true, and I'm sure Orioles PR is going crazy because I'm sure,
and maybe PR came up with it, Josh. But who's the PR guy who walks up to this billionaire owner and say, "Hey, listen, I got this idea. I want to give you a hose and put you in the outfield"? Who's the PR guy that sells that?
I'll tell you, never mind. I'm not going to talk about that. But imagine going from a job where you were told no constantly, that whenever you had a good idea, someone was telling you no. Right. And now you've got a boss coming in that's not only telling you yes, but encouraging you to go further. Encourage you to think out of the box, to do something crazy, to be creative. Yeah. Where before you were stuck with, every time I pitch something, is the owner going to freak out about this?
Well, if I say the wrong thing during a game, during a pre-show, when they put a graphic up there, if I read the graphic in the wrong way, could I be suspended?
Exactly.
What are we talking about here?
Exactly. As you know, I started last week as a full-time podcaster, as a producer of another show.
Right.
And I was complimented this weekend with that same thing, and that's what I was going to go to, that when they have ideas, I say yes. And I encourage it. And I don't tell them no to anything. If it's a bad idea, I'll lean them the other way. But if they say, "Hey, can we do this? Is it possible?" I always say yes. It's always, we find a way to do something. And they came from a producer that would tell them, no, you can't do this. No, you can't do that. No, you can't do that. And you end up constraining them in such a box that the creativity that you're paying these guys for withers away.
Yeah.
Because creativity means thinking out of the box.
Yeah. Hey, listen, putting a desk at the shortstop position.
Yes.
Just like a picture of the desk is going to get Orioles X, formerly known as Twitter, in a flutter, and probably is not the best thing to do because you're trolling them a little bit. But see, I would argue, Josh, that was a mistake.
But Orioles, did the Orioles tease the desk at shortstop? Or they were out there shooting the video.
Right, and Rubenstein put a picture and teased it.
Did Rubenstein put a picture? Okay.
Rubenstein put a picture and said, "Oh, well, what's this about?"
All right, I don't think... Okay. All right.
And we're like, well, maybe it's a sign.
Right. It's a little troll. It's a little trolling. Yeah. And I'd rather him troll other teams, but who cares?
Right. Well, I don't think it was trolling as much as just an innocent mistake.
Yes.
To get fans, and who cares, right? If fans reach the wrong conclusion, I mean, who cares? But I agree. I'd rather have him do something like that. That's kind of a miscommunication once in a while.
Yes.
Because that allows him to do all this other fun stuff.
Right. And at no point has he tried to make us question whether he cares about the product on the field. Have you noticed? There's been no country concerts this year.
Josh, we couldn't even get John Angelos to say he wants to win a World Series.
You're right.
We couldn't even get him to say that.
No, we couldn't even get him to open the books after he promised to open the books, and it was his idea to open the books.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm not even worried about Rubenstein opening the books. I trust you. And I think it's also been telling this year that Cal Ripken Jr. has been in a lot of baseball games, where in the past you'd see him at 1 or 2 home games a year. He's been at a lot of home games. He's back to enjoying being at Camden Yards.
Yeah.
Which you got to wonder what that was about.
Yeah, that's true too. I mean, here's a quote from Gunnar Henderson about it. He said, obviously, this is when, Rubenstein was just announced. Obviously, we want the leadership to be wanting the World Series as much as we do. And I feel like he's got the same mind frame, right? So that's even the players acknowledging, we finally have owners now.
Yes.
Who actually want to win a World Series.
All I want right now is a champagne celebration with Rubenstein in the locker room.
Yeah.
That's all I want for now. Then I want another one and again, another one and a parade with Rubenstein on the float.
Yeah, here's the quote. Is Rubenstein said, our collective goal will be to bring a World Series trophy back to the city of Baltimore.
The former owner couldn't even say that.
He wouldn't even say it, Josh. We couldn't even get John Ilitch to say he won a World Series. So I was not even convinced. I don't even know if John Ilitch wanted to win the World Series as much as he wanted to make money and put on concerts. But we have a new ownership group who does want to win a World Series. And props to John. John made a lot of money and threw some concerts. So I guess John got what he wanted, and now we can go get what we want.
Birdland Entertainment.
Yeah. So, and right now we're sitting pretty. I know we just had a loss to the Blue Jays.
Doesn't matter.
Underperforming. Yeah, but in the grand scheme of things, we have like the second best record in baseball. I think only the Phillies have a better record.
Yeah.
And now tied with the Yankees. And our pitching is playing well. Are there things we could upgrade? Sure. Do we need to continue to watch and monitor our outfield and see how they perform? Sure. But we got time to figure that stuff out. And so, yeah, I think there's been a lot of stuff this week. I feel like on trade talks. Everyone's calm down. It's freaking May 13th. Chill your roll with trade talks.
And with it's stretch reporting. And it's stretch reporting that is not being done by Orioles reporters. It is national reporters that for years would never talk about Baltimore. But now Baltimore is an attractive place. So, of course, they're going to say, hey, this guy wants to go there. This guy's interested in going there. Because who wouldn't want to come to Baltimore? Your fan base loves your team. Your owner is being praised. The team, most importantly, is winning baseball games.
Yeah. Well, and the reports are, here's the report. A team, the Orioles, whose closer has blown, 4 saves.
Right.
So we're in the need of a new closer. Is reportedly interested in teams that are already kind of tanking the season, who have a bullpen arm available. Like that's who have a closer elite bullpen arm available.
That was one.
So yes.
The other one.
We are interested. We don't have a closer right now. If you are a rebuilding team who has a great elite closer, looking at you Athletics, we would be interested in your closer. Yes. I don't think that's breaking news to say that. And you can throw any name you want in there for that.
Well, would it be breaking news to say that Justin Verlander might get traded this year, and he would go ahead and agree to get traded to the Orioles?
I haven't heard that one.
Oh, you haven't heard that one? That was the first one I saw. Because that one, who put this out? John Heyman. Justin Verlander.
Bob Nightingale was the other one.
Justin Verlander has a full no trade clause. But the guess is he might be willing to accept L.A. or Baltimore.
Yeah.
Of course he would. The Dodgers or the Orioles, the top two teams in baseball.
He might be willing to accept a deal.
He might be willing to go back. Right. He might be willing to go back to the World Series.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's got nothing to do with that he's from Virginia.
Yeah.
It's the fact that the team is winning baseball.
Yeah, I don't think he wanted to go here 3 years ago, right? 3 years ago, he wanted to be accepted to trade to Baltimore, even though he was still from Virginia.
And none of this is real news.
Yeah, talk to me in July.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think Elias is picking up the phone inquiring about Verlander now.
No.
Arise was traded from the Marlins to the Padres. So, I mean, a trade could happen. But
right. It could. But it would be for a closer, unless Verlander wants to be a closer.
Yeah. And by the way, Kimbrel has looked pretty good in this new setup.
Kimbrel has looked good in the setup role. Cano struggled a little bit today. Do you think we try to move Kimbrel back into the close role? or do you think they keep him up here for a while?
I don't know. Who's our closer now? Not Cano.
No.
It's who am I feeling? It's Kula maybe.
Perez struggled yesterday.
Yeah, maybe it's Perez. I think they're gonna. I don't think there is one. I think they're looking at the kind of the matchups and gonna kind of go game by game with it. And I don't know. I think if you're a manager, it makes your job a lot harder when you don't have a closer.
Right.
And I already don't trust Hyde's decision making, and so with the bullpen at times.
Right.
And now that brings up something that was already a predetermined decision with Kimbrel. Now brings it into another Hyde decision, which makes me a little bit nervous.
Right. I thought.
So I think Kimbrel moving out of the closer position was the right move. I think that was the right move. But now
I agree.
It's kind of in flux.
I agree. I think Wells. I like the idea of Wells back there.
Yeah, he's still not even healthy yet.
But that's what I was going to say. They just sent him like last week back for more tests or something.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, you don't know what you're going to get with him.
Correct. And Grayson comes back soon. He'll be in the rotation.
Yeah, he'll be in the rotation.
So, and I don't think anyone else. I don't think you move anyone from the rotation to the close because that's a waste of an arm.
Yeah, no, it's going to be Coulomb or Perez or Webb.
But do you want Coulomb just for the ninth? I like Coulomb as that multi-inning guy, even though they only used him for one pitch tonight.
Well, yeah. I mean, I want him in that position where, there's two runners on and one out in whatever inning, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th. I want him in whatever position is most stressful for me.
That's what I was going to say. How about, we've talked about this before. For now, we don't have a closer. And instead of looking at the 9th inning, we look at the heart of the lineup in that back half.
I know. And I know fans have been kind of clamoring for that for a while. And again, my argument against that would be this just opens up another possibility for Hyde to mess up.
Yes. You have to choose the right spot.
I agree with kind of where we're at right now. It might make sense to leave a little open-ended. I think Keegan Aikens pitched well really too. Pitched well too in the back of the bullpen. Back in the bullpen.
But we also have to remember that Kimbrel has a track record back there. So though we've seen him struggle, he's also had a track record of closing games. So if he can get some comfort back, maybe he can be moved back.
Yeah. And again, it's May, and I'm good exploring some different options. And then if it's July and we're still having the same conversation, well then we can freaking do something about it. We can go out and get something, and we get something great if we wanted to. And so we'll see how the Orioles approach that when we get to it. But in the meantime, you have, if you don't want to, I mean, Elias probably doesn't want to trade away prospects for a big bullpen arm. Probably doesn't want to do it. So I'm sure he's hoping that he can figure this thing out between now and July.
Right. Hyde said tonight that it is possible that Rodriguez makes a start this weekend against the Mariners.
All right. Well, Hyde's a liar, because he said, Josh, he said that Kimbrel will still be the closer, and his next appearance, he came in the 7th inning.
Have the Orioles been in a save situation since?
Well, the game could have been in the save situation when he was brought in the 7th. It was in a save.
Yeah, you're right.
En route to a safe situation when he was brought in the 7th. So
you're right.
Yeah. So Hyde lied about.
All right. So manager liar.
Yeah, manager liar. And Locked On Orioles had was having a tweet about it and saying like, well, it just goes to show that that a manager sometimes does not speak directly. No, like he lied. He said something and it just wasn't true. And maybe at the time, Hyde thought he was going to continue to be the closer, and then he reevaluated. But I don't know. The report about Rodriguez is certainly true. I don't think Hyde lies about everything, and I think it probably was. It probably changed his mind, having to reflect on it more. It's hard. I think right after a game, your closer blew a save. It's hard to go right after the game, and maybe your emotions want to say, yeah, he's done. So you kind of fight back and say, no, he's still the closer, because it's just happened so recently. And then you sit back and think, what are we doing here?
Right.
So anyway.
What are we doing here?
What are we even doing here? I don't know. All right.
Have we ranted enough? Did you have? Who was the specific player you wanted to talk about today?
I got some stats on Jorge Mateo.
All right, I'm very interested in Jorge Mateo because Jorge Mateo, like I said earlier, is playing really well. So I know we're over an hour. Do you want to talk about Jorge Mateo, or you want to give it another week?
We can give another week. I'll just say this, Josh. I'll say this, Josh, and I'll just say this about Jorge Mateo.
All right.
I know we haven't talked about his speed. According to Savant, the sabermetric stuff here, Josh, Jorge Mateo is faster than ever. I'll leave it at that. He's faster than ever.
I'm seeing it.
We can talk about him.
You can see it when you watch him. When he runs from second base, there's not even a thought of stopping at third. He just rounds and goes. Some of the plays he's made in the field, I am loving Jorge Mateo this year.
Yeah, I mean, he was great defensively tonight as well. He's been with the speed as well as
that backhanded throw at first base he made, or backhanded play, turn and throw.
Yeah, and there's also, a bunch of new data on, that was just released on bat speed and how much time it takes for your bat to get through the zone, which might be interesting to explore. But just real quick, Jorge Mateo, his kind of feet per second the past 2 years was 30.1. Now he's 29.8, and he's ranked 5th in all of baseball in terms of sprint speeds. That's pretty cool.
It's fun. I like Mateo. I'm a fan of Mateo. So all good with that. Did you catch Jim Palmer today talking about Fahrenheit and Celsius?
I missed that.
And the conversion between the two.
No, I missed the Fahrenheit.
Celsius. There were some interesting conversations going on today with Palmer.
All right.
So.
I heard the comment about, that guy must be a Toronto fan. He's wearing a North Pole shirt.
yeah, he's wearing a North Pole shirt. And
Kevin Brown gave him a hard time with that one.
Vlad Sr. throwing out the first pitch tomorrow.
Yeah, that's cool.
So,
yeah. All right, let's get out of here.
All right.
Guys, make sure you go to iTunes, leave us a review. It helps spread the word. Share us on social media.
Yeah, check out birdlandsports.com. I'm working on some new shirts. Got some cool stuff up there now, working on some new ones. And then check out the Mike O'Mara Show, because I'm now the executive producer.
Okay, check out the Mike O'Mara Show. I hope when you're on the Mike O'Mara Show, Josh, you say check out the Section 336 show.
I do. Talked about it on Saturday night.
All right. Well, shout out to you Mike O'Mara guys who listen to this podcast.
In fact, I had a couple of listeners message me privately to let me know that they have been Mike O'Mara fans and 336ers.
Oh, love that crossover.
So, love those people.
Yeah, those are our favorite.
So,
is Bert one of those guys? Is Bert a Mike O'Mara guy?
I don't know. I have not talked to Bert.
You haven't talked to the zany one, Bert Rohde, in a while?
No, I haven't talked to the zany one in a while. I did text him some accountant questions, as I'm also the business manager, so I got to go through finances and stuff. But I have not asked him and talked to him about the Mike O'Mara Show as a listener.
Yeah, we got to get him back on the show here one day soon here too.
Yes.
All right. You can also follow us on Twitter. You can follow me at Section 336. You can follow Josh on X.
At Josh Soroka. I put up did you see I put up a cool...
get out of here.
Oh, I was just going to say, follow me on TikTok, because I put a TikTok video up too.
I saw you in the one wheel now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. What no one knows is I fell right at the end of that video.
See, that's what I was hoping. That's why, Josh, you get a lot more views if you include that in the video.
Yeah, I thought maybe I'll put that later. I was talking about how I don't fall much, and then I tried to lean back and get a really cool camera shot of the lake, and I leaned back so far that I rode into the grass and fell off.
I want to see that video.
Maybe I'll post that one later this week.
All right, cool. Thanks for listening, boys and girls. And as always, go O's.